everyone, and welcome to Journey with the Kellers. My name is Amanda Keller, and today we are back in the Keller kitchen. So today we are going to be starting our next project from the Magic of Gingerbread book. So for this one, we are actually supposed to be making, do they call them name cards? Oh, place cards, okay? So I've actually already started most of this. So if you need the gingerbread recipe or the icing recipe, all of that is at the beginning of the gingerbread cookie puzzles video. So you can watch that if you need those recipes. You can use any gingerbread, like house building type of recipe, and any of the royal icing is royal icing. I will tell you though, for royal icing, if you are going to use one that uses egg whites, you will need to refrigerate that one if you're going to store it. If you're going to be using one that uses meringue powder, you can leave it out in room temperature. Just keep it in a sealed, airtight container, okay? So what you're going to need today is, once you make your royal icing, and you're going to divide that royal icing out into at least 4 bowls. I actually have 5 because there's 2 whites. So one white is going to be for filling the bag. The other white is going to be for making my flood. So we only need 1 white for the flood consistency. So I would reserve a little bit more white that's just going to stay white than the other 3, because these are just going to be used for decorations, okay? So separate it out into at least 4 bowls, 1 for white, 1 for brown, 1 for red, and 1 for black, okay? And I just realized that is not black, that is purple or dark blue. Where's my black? Aha, there we go. Okay, so once you have done that, and then when you get to your gingerbread cookies made, you can go ahead and roll those out again to 1/8 of an inch. And what you're going to do is you are going to make little gingerbread men. So you can use a little cookie cutter to make little gingerbread men. And then you also need a 2-inch little square card, I guess you could say. And it needs to be scalloped edge. So if you can see that, it's kind of got a little bumpy edge or roughly edge there. Okay, you're gonna need, it says 10, I made 12 just because there are 4 different designs. So that gives me 3 of each design, okay? All right, so once you get your gingerbread men cut out and your squares cut out and get them baked, then of course you're just gonna let them cool on a cooling rack. Unfortunately, I forgot that the bottom rack of my oven cooks faster than the top rack of my oven. And so when I left these in a little bit longer because they were on the top rack, these got just a little bit, probably a little bit too dark, but they're not quite burnt. And they do still smell good, so I think they'll be okay. And if they're not, oh well, I'm just learning, so it happens. Okay, so what we're gonna go ahead and do right now is go ahead and dye our frosting. And I am gonna need, where did I put them? Oh, here they are. Some spoons to stir them up. Now, you can either dye this and then go ahead and put them in your piping bags, or you can just leave them in your bowls until you need them. For right now, the only one I'm gonna put in the piping bag is the white, because that is the first one that I'm gonna need. But other than that, I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, so what we're gonna do first, and then you will also need 4 piping bags with couplers on them and a number 1 tip, okay? Now you will need couplers because we will be changing tips at some points, so make sure you have those, okay? All right, so let's set those back over here. So the first thing we're gonna do is dye our icing. Oh my God, it just totally slipped my brain. And so depending on what kind you are using, I am using 2 different dyes this time. So I have the regular little Wilton's dyes, but I also have these that are tubes that I want to use up. So I am going to use that. So for this first one, we're going to dye it black. I am just going to grab a plastic spoon to stir this up with. You guys can use a spatula, a spoon, whatever you want. So usually for these like little Wilton's dyes, it's easier to just use a toothpick. And then you just kind of tip it, and you can just kind of scrape it out and put some in there. I will tell you, black is hard a lot of times to get it to look black. A lot of times it ends up looking green to me. I don't know why. Okay. So set that aside. So I put some pretty good dollops in there. We're just gonna mix that up real good. All right, and after the first try, it looks like I've kind of got like a dark gray. It's not really black. So let's add a little bit more. Okay. Can you add too much black? I wonder. All right, so still looks kind of dark gray to me. Some of this might be the lighting too, because I have a light bulb out, so now my kitchen isn't as bright. I need to change it. No, I think that's still gray. That is not black, you guys. All right, so let's try again, add a little more. Like I said, getting it black is really hard a lot of times. Go. It's starting to look better. See if I get it in the sunlight. I think that looks pretty black. Okay. So that one is done. I'm gonna take this spoon out. Now I'm gonna put my lid back on, and like I said, I'm gonna wait to fill my bags until I'm getting ready to use them, because we have to do some other things first. Okay. So now I'm gonna throw this away too. I don't want to spill that. Make a big, huge mess on my counter. Okay, so let's set these two to the side because they're gonna stay white. All right, so now your next bowl, you're gonna dye it red, okay? So let's get a different spoon here. All right, and red can sometimes be the same way as black. I don't think as bad as black, but it can be harder to get it to look not pink, okay? So I'm sure this first attempt is probably going to look pretty pink. It's a darker pink. Almost like a bubblegum pink. That's what this looks like right now. Bubblegum pink, you guys. All right. So let's squeeze in some more red. So they do usually recommend for stuff like this to use the Wilton's, you know, these little kinds of jars. But I will tell you, this stuff is expensive. And I don't know. I mean, if you're just doing this for at home, I don't see why you couldn't just use the cheaper stuff. Whew. Still pink. That is not red. Squeeze in a whole bunch more. Trying to think if I have ever, yeah, I think I have gotten it to like a red before. May not be today. May just be a really dark pink. It's gonna take this whole tube just to get this dyed red. Which is probably part of the reason why they recommend the other kind. I think it does dye easier. It's probably more pure, or whatever you want to call it. So, and it's also going to depend on how much white you have in here. So it's not like we have a measurement of white in here that we're all going to be using. So depending on how much frosting you put in there will depend on how much it takes to dye it red as well. Ah, we're getting there. Starting to look redder. And if we don't get it fully red, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to worry about it. Like I said, I'm not making these or anything to sell. I'm just making them for basically me and the family. And because it's something I've always wanted to try, is trying to make gingerbread houses, technically, but we're working up to the houses. There's only a few projects, and then we'll be doing houses. So, okay. So that's about as dark as I'm gonna get that one. It is still kind of like a, maybe a hottie pink. A little bit, maybe a little bit darker than hot pink. I'm not sure what you would call that. But we're gonna put a lid on that one for now too. Set that over. Okay. Then we're gonna go ahead and do our brown. Not too many things that you use brown food dye for. Okay, so put in brown. Oh, got this thing. I'm not sure if that's the color of brown they want. This is kind of a muddy brown. Maybe make it a little bit darker. Now, like I said, you guys could do this any way you want. Do whatever colors you want. I'm just showing you what the book is doing. I don't know that I would necessarily be this elaborate. I'm not big on like flooding my cookies with frosting and stuff. I would rather just have fun and decorate them. But, you know, you never know. Maybe you guys would like to do it a little fancier, and that's just fine. Is that good enough brown? I think that's good. Okay, so now we've got those all dyed. And we're going to keep lids on them. Set them off to the side for now, okay? All right, so now the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to make our flood whites. Okay, so I'm keeping this white for bags. Okay. So what you're going to do, first of all, we need a teaspoon and we need some water. So let me get a measuring cup full of water here. All right, so you're going to do this 1 teaspoon at a time. And I don't know why I brought that over here because I don't really need it. And we are going to need a spoon again. So 1 teaspoon at a time, add it in and mix it up. And you're wanting to get a fairly good thinned out icing to do the flooding, okay? You want it to be fairly thinned out. So you just keep adding a teaspoon of water at a time, mixing it up real good and seeing how it looks. Now, it should pour fairly easily. Oh, we're almost there. I kind of see it can be a little bit, maybe not quite, maybe just a little bit more. Okay. All about eyeballing it, you guys. It's not really a perfect science. Maybe somebody could come up with something, this much frosting should take this much water to get the perfect consistency, but it's basically about, there we go. See, nice, good, runny, that's what you want. Real thinned out. Okay. So, now, why is there, I must have dye on my fingers. I'm gonna leave that spoon in there because we're gonna need it here in a minute. So what I'm gonna do now, first of all, make sure that this is dried off because it's wet. Okay, so this is the white frosting that we're going to use for piping. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this one up because we are going to need this here in just a minute. So you're going to curl down the edge of your piping bag. I usually like to try to curl it down to where it says the max fill point is, so that way I know how far up I can fill it. Oh, and then I've got these handy dandy rubber bands too that I want to open up so that I can help keep the bag closed. There we go. Okay, so now you're going to fill your piping bag. You basically just take it, stick your hand up underneath of the collar that you just made, use a spatula and shove it in there and kind of wipe it along the edge. Okay? And that way it all goes in there. Okay, make sure you don't squeeze it out the tip because then you'd be getting it everywhere. Might be a good idea to try to hold the tip over the bowl just in case. You got a bigger tip, it'll come out a lot easier. These one tips, it had, it's a little bit more trouble. Okay, so we got all this almost full. I'm like trying to hold the bowl still. Okay, there we go. So we got all that in there. I will put that in water here in a minute because it will harden up and then it'll be harder to get out. So like I said, anytime you're dealing with this royal icing, make sure that right after you're done of using something and you're going to be getting rid of it, put it in water, because if you wait till later, you'll be scrubbing it to try to get it out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and twist this, and then I am going to bend it down, and I am going to use a rubber band and twist that around it to hold it in place. Okay. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to get you guys set up so that you can see what I'm doing. We're going to start with our little squares. So I'll show you what we're doing with that. And so I'll be right back and have you guys set up so you can see better. You guys, so we are ready. So what you're going to do is we're starting with basically the place card squares, okay? So what you're going to do, I'm telling you now, my hands are not very steady, and like this is only the second time I've done this, so my lines may be wiggly. But in order to make a straight line, so what you're going to do is outline the box first and then flood it in, okay? So we're going to take a straight line as much as we can and make a square inside of the ruffles, okay? Oh. Now this is a little over 2-inch square, I think it is. Mine had one that was a little less than 2 inches. I had a set of squares. So I had one that was a little less than 2 inches and one that was a little over 2 inches. And you are going to be leaning these against each other. So I thought, oh, the one over a little 2 inches would probably work better. So the way that you do a straight line, it says to put your tip basically down on whatever you're doing, give it a squeeze, and then raise it up a little bit to just make the line. Not too bad. Okay, so now to flood it, you're just gonna take your white flood icing. Now, usually I would outline them all first before I usually did this, but just so we can show you guys. You're gonna use something like a small spoon, even a baby spoon would work. And you're just going to put a dab in there. That's probably a little too much. And move it around so that it gets in all the corners. Ooh, that is too much. That might overflow. So make sure you don't put too much in there. And then you're just going to let this sit for an hour and let them set up a little bit, okay? And then we will come back and do the rest of the gingerbread men and finish up decorating the place cards, okay? So I will be back. You will need for the place cards, for the decorations and for the gingerbread men, some like basically mini M&Ms or mini chocolate covered candies, whichever one you want to call it. You're going to need some jelly beans. I think it's in green, but I'll have to look. And then you're also going to need some gumdrops. So I just got an assortment of jelly beans and an assortment of gumdrops, and I am using those, okay? Also make sure that while you're waiting for these to set for an hour, that you make sure all of your royal icing is in an airtight container, including your piping bag. You want to put that in an airtight container too, so that it doesn't get all hardened up, okay? All right, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish these up and then let them sit for an hour. And then I will come back and show you guys what we're gonna do for the rest of the decorations. So I'll be back, guys. So I finally got these. These have sat for an hour and they're nice and ready to go now. So I am gonna show you real quick what you're gonna do the next morning after you do all this, because I probably won't remember to come back and do it after doing it overnight, or I just won't want to. But anyways, so after we get these all decorated and you let them sit overnight, what you're going to do is you're going to take one of the little signs and one of the gingerbread men, and you're going to kind of lean them into each other like this, maybe like that. Okay, so he's kind of leaning a little bit onto the plaque, and the plaque is kind of leaning a little bit onto him. Whoops. And what you're going to do is you're going to secure that together with just a little brown dot of icing right here. So make sure you keep your little brown bag of icing. Just put it in an airtight container. You can keep it in its little thing. And then before you do that, you can either use an edible ink marker and write somebody's name on it, or you can just pipe it in with some icing. So that'll be up to you which way you want to do it, but put the name on it first and then just attach them together. And you've got a cute little name card. Now you will have to hold them together for just a few minutes. I think it says, let's see. Yeah, so hold them in place for about 2 minutes and then they should be good. But you do need to wait like 6 hours before you move them once you stand them up. So make sure that you put them together in a place where they can stay for a little bit. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to show you how they decorate these in the book. Like I've said, you guys can do them however you want. That is up to you. Okay? So what they've got is, first of all, we're going to start with this little guy here. And so what they did is you can either take black or brown, it doesn't matter which, and you're just going to outline in little dots, so like little dotted lines, all the way around the outside of the gingerbread man. I'm doing it in black. It's hard to tell if it's black or brown on the thing, but I'm going to do it in black. Oops, messed that one up just a little bit. Sorry this is taking so long, guys. I do want to show you the whole thing so you know what it looks like when it's finished. And if you're like me and you did 12 gingerbread men and 12 plaques, then you will do this on 3 different gingerbread men, okay? So there's that done. Then you're gonna take some red. Well, do we want the red or the white first? Let's see here. I think I'll do the white first. Almost forgot to get my white out. I'm gonna clean off the end of the tip here so that everything flows good, hopefully. Yep, there we go. Okay, so what you're gonna do with the white is you're gonna make a little line from here to here, from here to here. And then you're gonna make another little line from here to here, and from here to here. Then you're gonna do just a little smile. Okay, so that's all you need for the white right now. You can also take the brown and take 2 little red, basically just candy coated chocolates or M&Ms. Now make sure if they do have an M on the outside of them that you put that down, okay? And so you can just put a little dot of brown icing on here, and you're gonna put 1 on that toe, a little dot of brown icing, and 1 on that toe. There we go, okay? Then you're gonna take your red icing and you're gonna put a little like collar kind of here. Oops. Or necklace, maybe that's a necklace, okay? And then also do like a dotted line right next to the white. So just little dots. Okay. You can come back with your black and do 2 little eyeballs because I forgot them. So eyeball there and an eyeball there. Okay. And then the last thing, let's see. Oh, you're going to do a little dot of white right here. Okay. And then you're going to do, let's see, 3. Oh, hold on just a moment. Yeah, 3 little dots for buttons. So 1 in the red, 2, 3. Okay. Now the last part for the gingerbread men, and actually we're going to come back and do the very last part after we get them all done. But you're going to take a green jelly bean that's been cut in half lengthwise, okay? You're going to put a dot of brown frosting on it. Oh my. And then you're supposed to attach it, there we go, to the top of his head. Just like that. There we go. Okay, and we will come back later and finish that off because it takes a different kind of tip, okay? And I don't want to change the tip until we're done using this one. Okay, now for the square, you're going to take your white frosting and you're going to pipe a line right on top of the flooded area, okay, all the way around. Okay, and then you're going to take 3 candy coated chocolates or M&Ms, just make sure the M's are down, and do 1 here. You can put a little bit of white icing on it if it's not going to be on fresh icing. 1 here. And 1 here. So like a little holly leaf. Then you're going to take a green jelly bean again and cut it in half again lengthwise. You can put some more icing on there, and this is going to kind of be like your leaves. So you're going to kind of set them. I don't really know that I like that it says Jelly Belly on there, but that's okay. And you're going to set those right on each side, however you want to do that. Okay, so that's done. Now the only thing I do notice is that it's not really a whole lot of room left for the name on that one. So yeah, you might want to maybe make it, the nameplate a little bit wider. Okay, and like I said, we'll come back and finish off the hat after we get done with the others. Okay, so there's your first one done. For your second one, what we're going to do is take the white again, and we're going to do a line from here and here. And then we're also going to do his smile in white. Okay. Then you're going to do little dots. So right here, so 1, well, you don't have to count them, but little dots along here. Oops, those 2 are connected. Don't forget to pull up quick so that the dot finishes, okay? Then you're going to take your red and you're going to put a dot of red here and a dot of red here, okay? Then you're going to put a line of red here and here, okay? And then you're going to take your brown icing, and you can pick any 2 colors you want. I'm just doing red and green, but you're going to put a dot of icing on another chocolate covered candy, and you're going to put 1 there and then 1 here. Okay, now we've got to create his bow tie. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw a line. Oops, that's red, we need white, I'm sorry. So use white and draw a line right across here. Okay, then you're going to take a gumdrop and split it in half long ways, and you're going to put these 2 rounded pieces together like that. Okay, so we're going to put just a little bit, probably, of brown icing, and I think these gumdrops are a little bit too big, but we're going to basically make, this is going to be a huge bow tie. It's going to kind of look like a clown bow tie, but that's okay. So 2 little things there, rounded sides together, put a dot in the middle, and then it kind of looks like a bow tie. It's just a really big bow tie, okay? Then you're going to just do 2 little dots for his eyes in black. So 1, 2. There we go. Looking good, looking good. Okay, so the next one. Okay, so again, you're going to do the outline like you did with this guy. I'm going to do it in brown this time. Like I said, you guys can do these. You could decorate them any way you want. Use whatever colors you want. It's your project. You know, if you need it to match a theme, this is a cute idea for like a Christmas party, or even other parties, birthday parties, you know, especially if the person really likes gingerbread. You know, these would be really cute for little place cards, name cards, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so do them in whatever colors, you know, suit your party. You can also switch up the candy if you'd rather use different candy. Okay, there we go. So we got that done. Now I'm going to use the black and make his two little eyeballs. So one eyeball, two eyeballs. Okay. Then for him, you're going to make his mouth white. Okay. And then put two little red dots on each side of it. So one here, one here. And I just realized we didn't decorate this one, so I'll do that here in a minute. Okay, and then you're gonna do a white outline on here. And you can stick a red candy or any color of candy right in the middle of that, okay? Then you're gonna try to draw a heart in the middle of his chest, which it'll probably be very uneven. Okay, so put a heart in. That's not too bad. And then you can put a little red dot here and a little red dot here, okay? Maybe a little bit more on that one. There we go. All right, then you're gonna do a red line here and here, and then a white line here and here, okay? And I think, is he done? Yes, he is done. We're gonna go back to the square because I forgot to do that one. So for this second square, to go with this guy, I guess, you're gonna go ahead and just do a red dotted outline all the way around the square. Okay, almost there. And then you're gonna place some blue M&Ms in the corner. Oops, it's falling off there. And all four of the corners, okay? Again, make sure your M's are down if it has it on there. There we go. Okay, now for this square, this one you're gonna outline in white, just like this one. So just put a white outline right on top of the flooded area. Not really sure why outline it in white on top of white. I would rather have some color there, I think, but that's okay. And then you're just gonna put 4 green candy coated chocolates in each corner. Okay, so that one's done. All right, one more to go, you guys, and then we got to come back and finish his hat. Okay, so for this one, we are going to start with 2 black little eyes. So one little eye, oops. 2 little eyes. Then you're going to start with your white. You're going to do a nice little smile and a dot in white at each end. Okay. Then you're also going to do like a dot of pearls around her neck. 2, 3, 4. I don't know why I'm counting. You don't need to do a certain amount. Okay. Then you're going to do some wavy lines for her arm. So it's kind of looking like she's got like a lacy kind of top on. Okay. And you're going to do the same thing at her legs. Woo, that one was bad. Okay. Those don't look very good, guys. Those don't look very good at all. Okay, now you're going to take, it says a small gumdrop, and I think I'm going to cut this gumdrop's top off because I think it's just too big otherwise. So, there we go. So you're going to take a small gumdrop, I cut the top off so it would be small. Put a little dot of brown on there, and you're going to stick this right in the middle. Okay, well, not right in the middle, kind of down towards her legs. Okay, now the last thing that you're going to do for this one, here it is you are going to take a gumdrop again, cut in half, And what you're gonna do is put some brown icing on there. It's gonna kind of be, I still think this is too big as well, but that's okay. And then that just goes on there, okay? So you don't do anything else to that one, that's all you do, okay? And then for this little bottom part, you're gonna go ahead and do the white outline again. Okay, and then you're gonna take a gumdrop that you cut in half lengthwise and then cut that half in half, okay? And you're gonna lay that at each corner. It's supposed to be the cut side down, but there's two cut sides, so I'm not really sure, but we'll try to make it look as best as, as we can here. There we go. Oops, this one's not quite where I want it. There we go. Okay, you guys, so that finishes them all up. Aren't they adorable? Well, nope. Okay, so now what you're gonna do, you're gonna need, so this still has a number 1 tip. This is the white. You're gonna unscrew your little coupler here. Okay. Oh, and take that tip off. And you're gonna put a number 3 on, okay? So I put my number 3 tip on. You're gonna come over to this little guy with the hat, and you're gonna start from one side of the hat and come all the way over to the other side with some white, just to kind of fill it in. Then you can also put a little white pom-pom on there. Whoops, it has a little point now, but that's okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna do that too, even though it doesn't say to. I think I'm gonna do it for this one as well. Okay, there we go. All right, you guys, so I am also going to go ahead and show you guys what I mean, even though they're not dry, but that's okay. So what, as far as putting your names and stuff on them, so I'm just going to use some red on this one, and we're going to do Mom. Okay. So like I said, you can either pipe it on or write it on. I kind of think they need bigger place cards, because you'd have to be able to write really small in order to do that. And maybe bring out the white outline a lot closer to the ruffly edge. But yeah. Okay, so you're going to put that up. And then what you would do is you would take, well, let me set this back down, your brown icing, and you're going to put it on the back of this. Okay, so right here. And then you're going to take, the only thing is it's going to cover up your nice little piece that you just did. You're going to take these and attach them together. Now you're going to do this, oops, and I knocked that off. You're going to do this in the morning after it's all dried so that nothing falls, because that's what's going to happen here. Stuff probably is going to fall off. But you know, I just want to demonstrate what you're going to do. And try to make sure that you do get the frosting where it's going to touch, which I don't think it's quite there. Let me get this guy back on there too. But it is standing right now all on its own. Oh my gosh, okay. So once you got it standing, you're gonna let it sit there for about 6 hours before you move. Okay, I can't get that back on right now. I'll get it on in a minute. So you're gonna let that sit there for about 6 hours, and that's what you get, you guys. You got this nice little place card. Isn't he cute? He's so adorable. Okay, you guys, so let me get this all straightened out, and then we'll end the video. So I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so he's actually staying standing, so I just kind of left him there. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. Like and subscribe if you like, or don't if you don't. These are just so cute. I just love them. So you guys have a good day. Enjoy your gingerbread making if you're doing it, or just enjoy watching me do it, because I make all kinds of mistakes. Like and subscribe, guys. See you later. Bye.